In today's video, we'll be ranking retirement timing strategies from worst to best. One of the most costly mistakes people make is choosing the wrong time to retire. The retirement timing decision will impact your finances for the rest of your life. And as the owner of an independent financial planning firm, I've seen firsthand how difficult it is for retirees to time their retirement. That's exactly why I'm making this video today. To rank the most common retirement timing strategies from worst to best based on real-world results. Now, the internet would have us believe that there are an infinite variation of retirement timing strategies. My opinion is that this is complete hokey and a distraction. Now, beyond that, for some reason, every party has an interest in convincing others that their retirement timing strategy is the right one. Is it better to delay Social Security to age 70 or claim at 62? Everyone has an opinion. Or is it better to use the FIRE movement, retire as early as possible? Or what about an unretirement strategy where you retire early with a plan to go back to work after taking extended sabbatical type retirements? Now, I could have turned this video into a presentation with a series of spreadsheets showing the hypothetical financial trade-offs of each scenario, but honestly, I found that to be a colossal waste of your time because it's all kind of hokey anyways. So what I really believe is that retirement timing strategies can actually be broken down into 4 and only 4 quadrants. The first timing strategy is allowing others to choose our retirement age for us. Now, I've cited the particular study that I'm showing on the screen here in many of my videos. The National Bureau of Economic Research does an annual study called the Retirement Confidence Survey, in which they find that the median retirement age is 3 years earlier than people expect. This means that roughly 50% of people will retire 3 years before they plan. But in many cases, there are people who retire 5, 6, or even 10 years earlier than they expect. And that's because many people are forced into retirement due to unpredictable circumstances that are outside of their control. Things like forced layoffs, illness or injury of a family member, or maybe personal injury or things that cause you to have work limitations. Now, what this study really illustrates is that timing retirement itself is actually largely outside our control. And the key takeaway is that if we don't focus on what is within our control, then we're basically walking a tightrope with 50-50 odds that our retirement timing will be left up to us. Now, the truth here as well is that a huge pile of money is really only a small defense against this. It's not like you can take money out of your savings to pay your employer to keep you on staff if they're doing forced layoffs. And yes, more money can help pay for in-home care for a parent or a spouse, or even for yourself. But the truth is, if you're forced into sudden retirement without a plan because you thought, hey, there's always time, I'm in control of when I retire, you could quickly end up in trouble. Now, unfortunately, this is the most common retirement strategy, if you even want to call it that, because it's really not a strategy by choice. It's more like a strategy by omission. So it really feels silly to even provide a rank or a score here, but the truth is, it's actually the most common form of retirement. So I'm going to rank this retirement timing method as the worst. And of the 4 that I'll be going through today, 4 out of 4. So I'm going to be moving on to the second retirement timing strategy in just a sec here. But if you want to watch a longer video where I break retirement timing down in far more detail, you can click the link in the description below to register for a completely free webinar that I'm going to be releasing. And now on to the second retirement timing strategy, which is to retire by feel. So imagine you're one of those 50% of people who quote unquote choose their own retirement timing. This strategy that I'm talking about now is the go by feel strategy. It's more emotional. It's the I'm fed up with work, or I have too much going on in my life. It's time for me to just cash in, get out. Essentially retiring first and then picking up the pieces by creating a plan after. And I call this the FIRE, AIM, READY strategy, like the shoot first, aim later strategy. And honestly, there's really not that much to say about this. This is, in my experience, the second most common retirement timing strategy after forced retirement. And I think you already know that I'm going to rank this third of 4 options right at the bottom, only better than forced retirement because at least this method kind of has greater dignity involved. Now, the third retirement timing strategy is to retire based on some randomly generated portfolio value. Every year, a whole bunch of research studies and new articles come out telling us how much money an American needs or believes they need in order to retire in the USA. And a quick Google search of the phrase how much do I need to retire, produced the search results that you see on the screen below here. Articles from USA Today and Kiplinger with serious looking numbers, $1.8 million needed to retire. And even research studies from investment companies like Northwestern Mutual and Charles Schwab. Now, in my opinion, these types of articles and the studies are so incredibly misleading that they should be criminal. These articles make it seem like retirement is a doomsday scenario, completely out of the realm of possibility for the majority of Americans. And not only that, they give the sense that even for diligent savers who have accumulated large portfolios, that maybe retirement isn't even that stable once you have those big 7-digit savings numbers. My experience speaking with hundreds of families preparing for retirement is that people do make retirement timing decisions based on studies like these, not because they love the guidance or because they trust the brokerage companies or the media entities, but really because at the end of the day, we all need guidance. And if it's not clear to us where to get that guidance, we're gonna seek it out where we can find it. Now, the most irking part of this third retirement timing strategy is that, number one, it will cause many people to work far longer than they would have otherwise needed to. And number two, it is entirely self-serving to the media and the brokerage companies that those media entities service. Fear-based headlines get more clicks, and therefore the media makes money at your expense while they promote these fear-based headlines. And then second, if you're afraid of retiring and drawing income from your assets, then financial companies continue to benefit as your portfolio grows in size and they continue to get ever increasing fees as a result. Now, while this timing strategy is better than the first two, because at least it will help encourage more aggressive saving, it is still garbage in my opinion. And for that reason, I will rank it second out of 4 methods, but still a far distant and inferior second. Now, real quick, before I move on to the fourth, and in my opinion, the best retirement timing strategy, if you want extra help planning your retirement, click the first link in the description below. Register for our free class where we'll be going over all of this in way more detail. Now, finally, the fourth retirement timing strategy is to retire using the guidance of a retirement income plan. This is, in my opinion, by far the optimal way to plan when to retire. And regardless whether you want to retire early as a part of the FIRE movement, or if you want to do periodic retirements using unretirement, regardless of your opinion of whether retiring at 62, 67, or 70 based on the difference in Social Security income, all of those scenarios should be informed and enabled by a retirement income plan. A retirement income plan takes the amount of money you'd like to spend in retirement and then works backwards to help you produce an estimate of the required amount of savings you would need in order to produce or curate that income for the duration of your retirement. Now, I'm going to build a crude retirement income plan with you on the screen here. The first step when building a retirement income plan is to estimate how much you'd like to spend when you're retired. Now, you can do this 2 ways. One is performing a detailed audit of your spending and then removing expenses that may drop off once retired, things like mortgage payments or kids' college. And the second way is to take a more general approach and just use a broad general estimate. Now, obviously, the more specific your method, the more accurate your income plan will be, but that's a personal choice. The second step is to gross up for taxes. So grossing up for taxes refers to the fact that if you want to spend $100K a year in retirement, you need to get that income from somewhere and will therefore need to pay taxes. So what you really need is $100K a year of after-tax income. So once you gross your desired income up, you can then use a spreadsheet calculator like the one I'm showing on the screen here. You can plug in your grossed up retirement income number into this top row. And then next, you'd plug in any sources of guaranteed income that you would have in retirement. Guaranteed income are income sources that don't rely on your accumulated savings. So it could be things like Social Security, annuities, pensions, rental income, or even part-time work. Now, once you've got those totaled up here, you can see that it will total up your guaranteed income here and then spit out or generate what is called your required portfolio income. Required portfolio income is the dollar amount that your portfolio will be responsible for producing each year in retirement. Now, once we have required portfolio income, we move on to this second spreadsheet here. And what we do is we take the required portfolio income amount and carry it over to this first row or first cell. And then we need to input certain assumptions for how long we estimate our retirement will be, what investment rate of return we expect we might get, and then what legacy goal or leftover monies we might want at the end of the retirement period. In the example on the screen here, Let's go with a 30-year retirement, a 5% estimated rate of return, and a $250,000 legacy goal. And you can see that the final number here is a financial calculator that will estimate for us how much money we would need on day one of retirement in order to fulfill the financial obligations that we've told the calculator. Now, in this example, we would need roughly $1.16 million on day one of retirement. And with that, we can move to this third sheet here where we input our current age, our desired age of retirement, and again, the estimated achievable investment rate of return and how much money we have saved. And what this sheet will do is it will run another calculator that will tell us, based on how much time we have left to save, what should our monthly and annual savings amount be to get us to our asset goal. Now, this spreadsheet is illustrative, right? It's not perfect, but it accurately reflects what a retirement income plan will look like. At Peak Financial Planning, we use a system called modern guardrails that will tell us, based on a person's total savings to date, what is a safe retirement income that they could expect if they were to retire today. For example, and I'll show this on the screen here, modern guardrails would tell us that for an individual age 65 with $500,000 in savings and $22,000 per year of Social Security income, estimating a 30-year retirement, that they could safely withdraw $27,300 per year. This person would then be able to ask themselves, is this enough for me to live on with the quality of life that I desire in retirement? And if the answer is yes, then great, go ahead and retire. But if the answer is no, then you should run a retirement income plan backwards to figure out how much longer you would need to work and how much money you would need to save each month in order to get to the income that you desire. And then you can plan your retirement timeline that way. Now, this strategy is optimal because it provides you a way to take control of your retirement. It crafts a knowledge-based framework that informs your retirement timeline and has contingency plans that can support you if things come up, like forced layoffs at work or family health issues. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what we believe about FIRE or if Social Security at 62 or 70 is better. Those are all personal choices. I don't have an opinion on whether one's better than the other. What actually matters is the amount of income we desire and whether or not we have a plan to produce that income. For this reason, I score retirement income planning as best in show when it comes to retirement timing strategies. So now that you know how different retirement timing strategies rank, we need to understand one additional thing. These rankings are really just a general framework. Every retirement income plan is uniquely individual based on our age, where we live, how we're invested, among many other personal details. With that said, hopefully you can still walk away from this video with an understanding of how truly important it is to use a retirement income plan to time your retirement. But here's the thing. There is actually so much more that goes into retirement planning, to the point where this video could easily be 2 or 10 or 20 hours long if I tried to explain it all in one shot. But because I truly do want you to get as much information as possible, I'm hosting an entirely free webinar today where I will cover all of this in far more detail. So click the link in the description and register completely free. It will change your future forever. Thank you as always for your time and attention, and I will see you in the next video.